I've been reading some really ignorant comments on the last few of my videos. It's just amazing that people actually believe all of this nonsense from the mainstream about cholesterol and mucus. Especially people who understand that there's conspiracies out there, but some of them still don't understand that we are being killed off by an unnatural diet. I'll explain to you why it's been proven in studies that the more cholesterol you have, the longer you're going to live. There's a strong association between higher cholesterol levels, which is higher than the norm, those kind of numbers, and lower deaths, especially true for women. Your whole body and your organs, your heart and your brain are going to work way better with higher levels. The more you have, the better. It's a blessing. If you won't have them, you'll get all the typical problems that people have nowadays, memory problems and Alzheimer's and heart disease. Plant eaters and any kinds of animals, they all have a lot of cholesterol in their brain and in their heart, simply because the body makes it, because it's essential for health. It's supposed to be there. One misconception is that saturated fat has something to do with cholesterol. It's biologically impossible to make or impact in any way the cholesterol of the body. The doctors won't tell you this because they don't understand this, because they don't understand nutrition or digestion. And this is why I still want to mention an example. This doesn't have to do with cholesterol, but with saturated fat, because it's also very important for your organs, also your heart and your brain. There was this elderly woman, and most of them there ate a lot of grains, and they get nothing for their brain. This is why there are so many sick people mentally when they get older. It's not supposed to be like that. And somebody brought her bacon, and in many years she wasn't able to talk, and she actually was able to talk because of the bacon. And all she could say was bacon, bacon, like a baby in a sense, because in a way, before we die, we go back to that state. And it's just it's such torture that's going on in these quote-unquote care homes. Fuck off. Another misconception is that your blood cholesterol is affected by the cholesterol in your diet, and it's not. This has been proven. It's understood, and maybe that's unfortunate. And a huge misconception is that there's more kinds of cholesterol, and there isn't. There is only one. What people usually mean by this are lipoproteins. There's more of them, but what they usually mean are HDL and LDL. And this is not cholesterol because they carry cholesterol around. Imagine it like a bus, among other things. And they do this because cholesterol is just required for everything, especially nowadays, because if people have an inflammatory diet plus extreme exercise, their body is so inflamed that it always needs repairing. So it carries it, the new cholesterol, and then it carries it back to the liver to be extracted, because it's an antioxidant. It's trying to save your fucking life, guys. And you keep eating these famine diets. Your body believes that you're in famine. You're in famine mode if you eat a lot of plants. All of this plant sugar, these oils, it's all oxidizing, and you're getting sick. And then some people even take statin drugs, so you don't have this antioxidant anymore, and then that's suicide. You're going to die if you do that. The point is that there is no such thing as good or bad cholesterol. As far as your health is concerned, there's only good. Your body is not stupid, and it's certainly not suicidal. Everything that it does is for it to survive, to be healthy. It doesn't want to kill itself. That's why it makes cholesterol. If there is such thing as abnormally high levels of cholesterol, then it's because of this inflammation and because of eating too many carbohydrates. if you eat them, you will always raise a lot of insulin. And a lot of insulin is always going to signal your body to grow. And to grow, you will need more cells. And to make more cells, you will need cholesterol, so it turns on the cholesterol building enzyme. There was another study done of heart disease in countries. The 7 countries with the lowest consumption of saturated fat were the ones with the highest rates of heart disease, and the ones with the highest consumption of saturated fat were the ones with the lowest rates of heart disease, of course. Actually, a funny thing, over 20 years ago in France, people could not understand why they had so little heart disease, and they were doing only 2 things differently. They were eating a lot of saturated fat and drinking red wine, and because of this brainwash which surrounded them at that time, people assumed that it was the red wine, and they could never prove this. Of course, it turns out it was a saturated fat, and especially because they make cheese and butter out of raw milk, not like all the surrounding countries or the United States or wherever. This is what saved them, so to speak. They ate what they are made out of, their bodies, because we are made out of saturated fat and meat, and there's just so much nonsense nowadays about these anti-mucus diets. The longest living humans have 20% body fat. If you think about a well-oiled machine, the human body is not different. We require fats in our diet. We make mucus ourselves. If you could see what happens to carbohydrates combined with enzymes outside of the body, constipation, artery plug, just imagine any kind of sticky sugar, all sticky. That's exactly what happens in your body. It's a joke on you guys. Thankfully there's not a lot of people following this anti-mucus diet. These foods which are listed, which the human body is made out of, could never possibly cause an overproduction of mucus, because it's caused by an allergic reaction, and that's caused by plants. There's very few exceptions of seafood causing problems, and that's because we do not live underwater. That's understandable, that's natural. Also, rarely from cooked egg white, which is not important, the yolk is important, and super rarely from raw egg clear, and it's not the yolk, which is the most important part, so it hardly matters.